Well, the reason that I'm running, people said, why are you running for mayor of Tomball? You are retired. After 38 years, I sold my business, and I love this town, but I don't have to run for mayor. I now am supposed to be living the dream, and I am living the dream because I'm in Tomball and I love my family and my friends and my children, and the Lord has blessed me even with all of the good times and bad times that people experience in life. All times are in His hands. And so trusting that, He leads us out of the highs and lows of life with peace and His love. So the reason is because I was worried about the direction Tomball was taking, losing the small town feel that has attracted so many residents and so many businesses to this area. And part of that was our Main Street. In 2009, there was a livable center study. Am I just into this? Can y'all hear me okay? Okay, good. 2009, there was a livable center study that was paid for by TxDOT to say what 2920 was going to look like. And that was 2009 to 2013. In 2014, I came on to council. Isn't this beautiful? The train, the trees, the wind blowing, this beautiful museum, our history. So, at that time, there was a grant by the federal government for small cities to fix the roads. And so we wanted to get this grant in order to fix 2920 from Four Corners all the way to Willow, to have good sidewalks and to have a vision for our Main Street. Part of that was CLR did a study in June of 14 that said to get the grant, we had to make some decisions. In order to have the right-of-way that TxDOT wanted for 2920, which was called FM, Farm to Market 2920, not highway, we needed to either take off parallel parking, we wanted to preserve the trees, but we also did not want to get into the right-of-way where our businesses were. So the CLR gave us 4 different options, and we voted on taking off parallel parking, which was hard. But taking off parallel parking, we preserved the trees, and we got ready to take the grant. In December of that year, then we instructed, the vote was on council, to go ahead and apply for the grant from TxDOT and the federal government, and start the process of having a livable center vision for our Main Street. If you've ever seen the pictures that are posted, it had the big trees and it had the big lights, which we have now. It was a beautiful landscaped area, and it was voted, let's do this in December of 14. In January of 15, TxDOT posted exactly what the road looked like. And so at that time, they had medians up the entire way on Main Street. During the next few years, we would say, is this going to happen? When are we going to talk about the road? When is TxDOT coming in? It did not happen. There had been no discussions that we knew of. And then in February 21st of this year, they made a presentation on the road. I became a little passionate at that time and sent an email in order to, we cannot just vote on this, we need to have a public hearing. This is not good for Tomball, and it's putting medians down our Main Street, our 4-block area of our 115-year-old town, the only town between 290 and 45. To TxDOT, it's a highway. It's just 2920. This is Tomball. This is home. This is the feeling why everyone has come in, is keeping Tomball our hometown with a heart. And so that is when the public hearing happened. That is also when it was discovered that the 2013 studies were traffic studies calling 2920 one of the deadliest highways in Texas were done before the Grand Parkway was even built. I was on the road of the Grand Parkway and it opened in 2016. This is not the most deadliest 4-block area in Texas. So what we succeeded in doing, and we were told that there's really not much you can do. This was voted on in 2009, it was voted on in 14, and posted in 15. There's really not much you can do, and that's not true. Together we can accomplish anything. And by a public hearing, thank you. A public hearing and citizen input, which should have been happening all along, we have TxDOT to the negotiation tables. So it's not finalized yet, but we have them negotiating that 4-block area to not have medians, but to have pedestrian traffic lights and could be some one-lane roads, left turn roads. But now we are under discussion with that. So that's great news, and it preserves our historical hometown. So it's things like that that I said, okay, change needs to happen. We need to listen to the people who have moved here and the businesses. We have already talked about, Dane and I, we didn't start out running together, but the more we got to be together in campaigning, we realized we think alike. So I said, come to this rally and speak. Let people know who you are. And so I'm very glad that he was able to do that, because he also believes in curbing development. The reason that people want to come here is not just for the housing. They want to come because of the way Tomball makes you feel. This is Tomball. You are Tomball. Being able to walk down the sidewalk, have fabulous school district. This is Tomball, and this is what we need to preserve with a vengeance, our hometown, and that's what I'm dedicated to doing. I'm excited to see that Tomball is not going to be like a lot of other cities that just kind of, as the older generation passes on, that it dies. It doesn't. It is alive with new families and people starting over just like many of us did in raising our children here. And that is what we need to continue to see in Tomball. Part of my plan is to have more open communication. I'm not sure that there's been enough communication as to what's going on in town instead of written up in the paper, and that's not right. We need to bring back more citizen input and communication. I also believe in term limits. So it's one of the things that if elected, I'm going to turn myself out. It is hard to build the next generation of leaders if you don't have term limits, and we need that. So what we would do is try to get that on the agenda. We have tried in the past, but it takes 3 councilmen to get something on the agenda to override a mayor. The mayor sets the agendas that we talk about. And we also want to redo boards and commissions. We want to make sure that there are no conflicts, that there are people who, thank you, that have been on boards and commissions for decades, and that needs to be changed. Again, we need to develop the young leaders, the families that are here. So this will be their future. So those are some of the things that I wanted to talk with you about. I would be honored to be your mayor. I am passionate about this town. We laugh. When we moved into our house on Lost Creek, I said, this is where they're going to bring the food after the funeral. It's Lost Creek. Now that the children have left, we're rethinking that to something smaller. But this is where we have chosen to spend our lives, and I would be honored to be your mayor of this great city. Thank you.